All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us on Sharky Waters Wednesday Night Dive. Tonight, joining us, we've got a special quote on the board. It's "The invisible threads are the strongest ties" by Friedrich Nietzsche. Tor, our producer, putting us into your pockets and devices, was on the show in season 1, and he had a quote that was by Friedrich Nietzsche. Do you remember what it was? It was about music and life.
Without music, life would be a mistake.
Without music, life would be a mistake. And so I was thinking it was funny because the invisible thread that ties all of this together and puts this show into your pocket was Nathan, the guy who introduced Tor and I together.
Hi.
So special show for me. Eric the Clock Doctor is here keeping us in line and on time. And then we've got Deborah Gross, as always, our #1 fan, and soon to be implemented into the Sharky Waters family with our new style of Shark Bites. You have to wait, stay in, tuned in, and we'll talk more about that. We've got the regular open swim format. We're going to do 30 minutes. Eric's going to flip the timer. We're going to do a little bit of a drill, warm up. We're going to talk about putting some curve on the ball, actually, and see if we can do that. And then Nathan's going to get a stab at the break pot. Before we do that, the housekeeping that we have is shout out to the sponsors. Like always, there's me with Clean Slate Pool Tables. Any of your pool table maintenance, repairs, refurbishes, refills, relocations, that stuff. I'll help you out. And then Harold Prine with Prine Custom Cues. I'm shooting with Optimus Prine here. Nathan just pulled one off of the wall. I think he's got a McDermott over there, but the comparability we'll be able to look at and talk about. And then Tipsy Tomato, our regular sponsor there, where we go and have a pizza party after the show. So, oh yeah, we have a donate button now. Don't forget to hit that thing.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah. Okay, so running story, long running jump of Nathan and I. I'm going to take a second to put some, I'm going to use the tip pick here. They're not paying me for that, but it's important for a masse shot to make sure that your tip on your cue is like...
Almost looks like a bullet with like some little...
1,000 little needles in there. Here, you can try and put that on there too. Nathan and I used to work in a kitchen together at one point. Well, I was in the front of the house. Nathan was in the back of the house.
Primo Grill.
Primo Grill. Shout out to Charlie and Jacqueline.
That guy's an asshole.
Horrible people, actually. They're not paying us, so we can say that they were miserable to work for. And
that guy tried to call Stanley and C4s while I was going to go work that job and try and make sure I couldn't work there no more. I was like, oh man. Don't need to do none of that.
Yeah, we digress. So Nathan and I, after work, we used to spend hours and hours and hours going back and playing pool. You want to send that back to the behind the cameras over there whenever you're done with it, Nathan?
Oh, yeah.
We used to spend hours and hours and hours playing pool after work. That looked like races to 7 and 8 ball until we got tired of doing that. So we'd switch over to races to 7 and 9 ball. And then eventually, after weeks of doing that, Nathan was like, we're not doing this tonight. We're going to go bowling. And we went bowling. And when we were getting out of the car, you had pulled out your own bag. You had your shoe and your ball, like bowling ball or whatever. And I was all like, you got your own bowling ball and your own bowling shoes? And you were like, well, you got your own pool cue, don't you? That was your immediate response. And so long story short, I got my ass handed to me in bowling that night, and it was like a big chunk of humble pie, and gave me a good lesson that you had been taking all of your whoopings on the pool table real humbly, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people out there who'd be like, well, if we were at the bowling alley, they want to mouth off on stuff like that, but you kind of kept that quiet. until the day we had the chance to go do it, and that was awesome. But thinking about bowling, I'm thinking about putting some bowling ball spin onto this. Everybody's seen the guys on ESPN when they, roll those strikes starting on the outside. Can you guys get out? Are we on the overhead? I want to look at like the top of the circle of the cue ball where we are, and just when we say the center of the ball, we're imagining the center of it this way. So you're aiming from the center of the ball out. You got to clear this 9 ball, the obstruction, whatever ball is out there. And so you want to make sure that you're aiming this way from the center point. But then that spin, that direction that it's going to change speed, it's going to change direction. Somewhere out here. It could happen here, but it's probably going to happen here. You got to learn. That's maybe another advanced lesson of catching the spin of the ball or whatever. But at this point, we'll just call it the
earlier.
Finesse,
It's like an earlier or late break.
Yeah, you make the magic happen like right here, and so you can imagine where that is. And so if you can imagine the ball being here in the center point, there's like a different line from here as there is from here to the target ball. And so that's kind of where your pull cue stroke is going to hit it to aim past the obstruction. But the spin that you're putting on the ball, if you look down at it, it goes in that angle in that direction towards the target. But you want to make it kind of spin and slide through that point before it gets there. Now this is a pretty easy, I say this now, but it's like pretty easy to do. And I'm thinking if we can get it done, we'll put like more balls out there.
Oh, I see.
And add to it. But always, if you're going to do a masse shot, you're going to want to make sure that the tip is all done and cleared, that you got chalk. I'm just aiming just enough to clear past the 9 ball, and I'm putting a little bottom right-hand spin on the
direction
cue ball.
is down as far as I thought.
See, I didn't get enough action on it.
Looks like
I'll try again. There we go. And so you can see that turn kind of happened right around here whenever it did. Now I'll try it again.
I thought you would have been shooting more in a straight down fashion. But
Say that again?
I thought you were going to, as you're lining up.
Oh, like jumping over it kind of thing?
Not necessarily.
I think
you'd be like.
Yeah, I think that's a common misunderstanding too on masse shots is you don't have to elevate it a whole bunch unless that curve is going to be extreme.
Yeah.
You can even try and shoot a ball, and if you put bottom right-hand spin on it with just a slightly elevated cue, you can see at the first little second it goes straight, and then it curves for a second. Then it continues to roll its natural rolling speed, but it won't be a straight line, So I'm gonna add the second ball onto it. There's a lot of variables that you can practice. The extremity of the curve is one of them. How close that obstruction is, whether you got a curve from over here or whether you got to curve them like from over here. That would be an insane shot. I wouldn't even try that, But there are people out there who could. I shared a post earlier from a guy, pool player in San Diego and pool table mechanic named Abram Diaz. That guy can do some like crazy good masse shots. And anyway, let me try this one. See, I'm gonna elevate it a little more like you're saying to get through this one. I feel like that was like the first strike of the first one. Now I gotta figure out how to make the adjustment.
I'm admiring the first 2 to 3 numbers that you pull out of there, 419. Is that intentional?
Got a minute?
I just got to say again, shout out to everybody who's been watching and supporting the show. For the second straight episode, we broke 100 viewers watching us live. That's so awesome.
All right,
everybody out there.
Trying,
thank
like
you
you're
so
saying,
much
more extreme
for,
downward.
helping us grow this awesome game.
There we go. Too much on it.
There it is.
All right, you try one here. Try the easy one. I'm gonna put it out right here.
Shit. I don't even know.
I'll be over here.
So this one I should go back down low then, right?
I mean, you can put it wherever, but you got to get it far enough on that side of the table that you're actually curving the 9 ball, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, even when you look at it like this,
Yep.
if this ball is deep into this pocket, that's a it doesn't look like it's extreme, but I mean, as far as you can just put that bottom right-hand spin on there.
Yeah, right. It feels like I need to come down though, but you were like, still, you know.
Yeah. So you're just trying to miss the 9-ball. So your aim is like over here, for one.
Yeah.
You know, and then try it with like just a little, not as much as what you think.
Not here, but
Because that's what I think the point is that
Yeah, right.
maybe right there.
Dom, correct me if I'm wrong here, but like, you want to put tons of left on it because you want it to, or right, excuse me, I'm
From
looking
here,
at it from
yeah.
the other way. But the amount of like bottom you want to put on it is relative to like when and how much you need it to catch. And when
Correct.
you
That's
need
like that
bend to
finesse
happen, right?
moment that we're saying.
So we're like always putting a lot of right on it, but then we're just gauging really like how much bottom.
Right, exactly. And not only how much bottom, but how much. There's like a difference between stroking the ball to go forward and stroking the ball to get spin on it.
right.
You know, and so you have to get the right spin on it, and then but you have to have them both. That was close.
Yeah, right.
Try it one more
I
time.
don't know if I can get it to go like that, man. That's crazy.
I'm gonna try it short ways after you
Shit.
on the table.
All right, because I'm still coming down.
Do it however you feel comfortable, man.
I don't even know.
There you go. As long as you get around that ball, try it one more time. How comfortable style.
The little red dots on there are so cool, man. You can just see it move.
It's good for the camera and the viewers too, because they can see what kind of spin it's actually catching.
Right.
I just blinded myself a little bit looking up at the lights.
Yeah, it is
Gotta
just.
be careful about that. They're super
Screaming
bright.
in
Oh,
here.
there you go.
It
There
is
you go.
screaming in here, bright.
Okay, so I'm gonna try.
Looks good though. It's extremely
thanks.
professional the way this place has developed over the past couple of years.
Well,
It's
dude,
awesome.
you would know. You tell me. Well, you know, don't tell me, but tell the people your background in lighting and sound and.
I do music, production, all the concerts, you know, stuff. Like, so I, you know, set up the speakers and the lights, and you know, I particularly like really enjoy learning everything. Like, I just finished like a little mini college course about like, you know, how to control the lighting using this really particular, like, what do they call it? Like a lighting console, you know? It's like you turn the faders up and down, and then it turns
Yeah,
red or it moves to left or right or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like learning all that stuff, you know? I definitely, I'm a musician first and foremost. I want to perform, so just learn all this stuff to like make my like performance, this like, what I've been calling lately, my like kind of like just like mothership or my like spaceship that I'm like building right now.
Yeah, people are welcome to get on board. Is that
Yeah,
what you
yeah.
mean by
Well,
that?
well, that too. You know what I mean? That needs a crew to run the thing. But
Okay.
you know, like I very much believe that like the like music and the art and stuff, it's like separate than like the person. You know, it's like egotistical to say that like, you know, oh that's my song, or like, you know, it's no skill or anything like that. Like, it's not about that. It's just, I don't know. It's like something that just kind of like comes through you. You know, and so like, just like I said, I'm just building this thing that's like separate from myself, you know.
Yeah.
And just trying to like, you know, move around the message or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, or like whatever like the intention is of your musical act. Mine's like, you know, just talking about just loving and healing, and people just trying to get in that like kind of tribal state on the dance floor, you know.
Speaking
Yeah.
of love and healing and tribal and family, Patty, your mama says hi
Tight.
on the thread.
Ooh, look
Yeah.
at that.
Nice shot, Dom.
Doesn't count if it follows it.
Hello, Nathan's
I'm
mama.
gonna try it this way too. So this drill or practice, you know, effort
My mother's an angel.
that you're doing, we can try it short ways on the table, and it's a little bit more extreme and puts a little bit more challenge to it. Shout out to Clean Slate Pool Tables. We know somebody who can
Fix that.
do that. Don't be afraid to be aggressive on how you play the tables. It's
Sick.
fine.
That song is great right here, man.
And hi, Patty. There's so much stuff to talk about with someone with friends that go so far back.
Yeah.
I have an old friend whose name is Chris Morphus, who did the painting on the wall that everybody loves and talks about. And another friend named Chris, when we were children in
Sorry.
middle school, I think, everybody got tired of mixing up those two. Chris's, and so I just like self-proclaimed that one was named Steve and the other one was named Hank. And there was like no rhyme or reason why those two names really, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hank's stuck for, the Chris Morphus from Morphus Art. And then fast forward, I met Kelly, mother of Clyde, who has his own crazy synchronicities in his own name, but her son, Kelly's other son, Hank. And so I was like, oh, crazy, that's like a cool, and you know me, I like to follow the little lines of like, synchronicity.
Me as well.
If you will. And,
Definitely been almost obsessing about that in the past few weeks in my life.
Yeah. And so come to find out that your mom wound up, and it was funny how it worked out, because you and me knew each other for years before I met Kelly. And then we were hanging out with Kelly and her friend, our mutual friend, Debbie. And they took a class with your mom together. And they were talking, and we were like, how did you guys meet? And everybody was talking about how they met at the class.
Yeah, you're talking about my mom's like doula, like midwife stuff or whatever.
Right. They took one of those together, and then it just wound up coincidentally being your mom. Mm-hmm. See, and, you think like, well, of course, if the game, you would kick it over here, that would be easy. But there's probably going to be some like obstructions up here for people who like, why are they doing it this way?
Oh yeah, I see that now.
But it's like all the same. Now we're going to the left instead of to the right. But I don't know. There's like a lot to get lost there in all of the like names and coincidences of people and layers and how people know each other and how people first met and the tiny threads that are keeping us all connected together. I know, like through the years, I've like come to find out that your mom like helped usher in a whole lot of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
she's through that stuff.
Mom's touched a lot of lives, like being a doula and a midwife and teaching that Lamaze class, and later on this thing she called the Ice Journey and stuff. There was a lot of people, here in Tacoma that she like, in some way touched the like, their child's beginning, birth and all that, So now she like goes out there all the time and everybody's, sees her or whatever, and she like,
doula?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's like the new.
That's the new thing she's calling it.
The new. I like that name. I mean, it makes sense. Okay, so now I'll try and put a little more extreme to it.
Yeah. I moved away from the childbirth, and now it's homelessness.
Yeah, totally. Like full-on front battles. Shout out to Michael Darling. Her and Mike just like hitting the streets together. Really just as like front lines in the war on it, you know what I mean? And a lot of people,
she got her little organization, Homeless Humans of Tacoma.
Right. I'm sure they have a donate button. Anybody who wants to help out.
Yeah, her thing's mostly like, because she has the like Amazon wish list thing, so that she can get the specific things that the people need. Because she gets very like specific with their story, If it's a musician or whatever, and that's their purpose. That's what keeps them away from, drugs and suicide and stuff like that.
Then let's get them a guitar.
Yeah, let's get them that guitar that, probably was stolen because someone else like needed drugs, and so, you know what I mean? So
when you follow the thread down, we're all just humans with our own struggling stories in a lot of ways.
Speaking on like the drugs and all that, that just comes from people that just don't have a purpose or whatever, some reason to get up every day,
Yeah, well, she's a pioneer in that stuff, and I know that you don't really like advocate the like super pushing of it vocally in your music about how you're like connecting to that, and that's kind of like a mission to you. But
I'm trying to find the words. You know what I mean? There's gonna be more vocals in my music now, which will be helpful.
Right, but you're kind of like a prodigal son in that regard. You know what I mean? Of like of Patty Ramos' son. I mean, the people who do know who she is, and then to turn around the people who do know who you are in the music world. There's still like a level of like, oh, okay, but there's to be able to connect those two dots is probably something that's going to be able to help.
Yeah, maybe like
when you say you find the words to it in the future.
Yeah, totally. I mean, maybe down the road. Right now, nobody gives a fuck about either one of us, really. You know what I'm saying? We're just like,
unfortunately, on like the relative scale of fame and attention and likes and subscribes and buttons and all that.
Yeah, it's just cool for us in our small little world.
Well, the little ripples that we do are. Big on some point, right? And small as they may be, you can't stop from still throwing the little rocks out there into the water, making your difference. And it's kind of like the growth of this show. It's being able to, every week, I mean, we've had going back to like season 1, there was a time where some asshole was being like trolling on, you know, sideways comments or whatever, and there's always like a fucking cesspool of humanity in the comment threads.
Absolutely.
So often in mainstream big projects, but we're like luckily enough in Sharky Waters, we're like still so small that we get so little of that. You know what I mean? We're
Same with
usually
my
so
brand as well.
positive and everybody, and like a big reach out, like shout out to everybody in the chats and the threads that watch. Like, thanks for that. But at one point we like reached a level where there was like some trolls in there, and you had jumped in and responded from like Bay Area, you know, being like, when you were like, well, judging by like the tones of the comment thread, that Sharky Waters must be doing pretty good, you know, because it's like it's gonna come with the territory.
Yeah, that's something I have to tell Mom all the time, because she unfortunately obsesses so much with monitoring every single person's, you know, hateful commentary on like addicts or people, or why they're in the streets, or, you know, like, oh, this because of the color of their skin or something like that, you know? And I always tell Mom to just let it run rampant, you know what I'm saying? You have to let the people like talk it out amongst themselves, you know what I'm saying? Like, one, it's just like
dialogue come out.
that, and it's just like there's not enough hours in the day. Like, she like needs to be doing much bigger things and like sitting there like filtering like, you know, comments or whatever. And the same will come with you guys too, as everybody starts, you know, talking about different stuff or whatever and commenting. That's like where like that mothership thing I'm talking about happens, right? It's like you're just trying to create this, you know, this vessel.
Yeah.
Putting it around, making people like see it and off in the distance and be like, "What's that thing?" And then they start
What's
talking
that
about
thing? I want to go see what that. Yeah,
then they go
gravitate towards
start. Then
it.
they go start talking about it and just like trying to get people talking. You know, like I've been using this. Oh shit, that was terrible. I've been using this. Remember, I was saying like one of my favorite words of last year I learned was eustress.
Eustress.
Which is like the opposite of distress, and it's like stress that you like in the go after for the sake of like pleasure. The example they use is like a mosh pit, you know. So it's like that's like something that's like, oh man, this is intense, and I could get like a, you know, elbow to the face or something, or get hurt, or like break my glasses or whatever. But I still go because it's all like
I think
it's
the
like
stress of a pool tournament qualifies for that.
any of the above.
big
You know what
time.
I'm saying? Like it's the reason I like have the challenges I seek. You know what I mean? Moving to a new city. You know, like just it's all.
Move yourself out of there, man.
Oh.
It's open swim, man. There's no
Oh,
rules.
is that right? There's rules like this game is awesome. But you know, it's just like sometimes that people want to know, or like, you know, want some challenges, yes, in their life, and I think that like art or like, you know, this like edgy discussion that we have online, you know what I mean? We're just trying to be people that provide a place for people to be like, oh man, I want a little bit of difference
Totally.
from the mundane.
Totally
Let me try and get a little workout, you know?
We call it kids these days friendly. You know what I mean? You can still throw an F-bomb out there on live stream television. You can say what you want to.
Yeah, it's great. Times they are changing.
Use our position to resist conformity
Yeah,
best
right.
we can, but with order and discipline.
All right.
There can be such a balance between all of that. It'd be like in the middle of a pool table, in the middle of a noisy bar, which is like where a lot of people who are watching the show sometimes, like league nights and stuff, and watching in between matches and stuff.
That'd be
like
so
that.
tight. One day I'll just be like on the screen in the bar, coming through on like satellite TV or something. Sharky Waters. I really do wish the best for you guys on that. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I
know
want-
that.
I want it
know
to be
you-
huge.
You and me's friendship goes back beyond any of the live stream ideas. It was more of that concept of like a retirement place that will be one day. You know, it was.
Yeah, that was the resort.
Yeah, the resort. It was like a destination unknown. Going back to that, so tour was actually, we were talking about you being on the show, and we were saying like in a lot of ways, in that full abstract encompassing the entire timeline of how it all unraveled. You're like, we were watching a video of Moscone on the catwalk, and it had some music in the background, and what Austin coined Willy Wonka music, you know, which was definitely from your presence of working at the shop back then. But Tori Coyne, like, you're like former producer of Sharky Waters. Like, before we even like knew that was something. Yeah. Now we're on the verge of having our first retreat. I'm gonna leave that for Tor to plug on the commercial break or now, though.
I want to know. Let's talk about it a little bit. I'm curious. I don't want to open it up too much. I don't want to spill too many of the beans because it's a big project and it's still under development.
Yeah, easy now. Can't redo a debut.
Can't redo a debut. That should be a quote of the week.
It is. That's what me and Torben say for a long time.
That's back to the Seattle Soto studio that we worked at together, recording studio, music studio.
Oh my God.
But I want to know what do you get from pool? Like, what's something you can get from the game of pool that you can apply to your life?
This is directed to me. Oh, I'm listening now.
I'm asking for your input here. What do the people need to know?
This is meditation. This is solitude, time to think. My game, like, he was saying earlier, the game I really like is bowling, right? You're just here competing against yourself or whatever more than anything else.
I call it the illusion of an opponent.
Yeah. Just like in the race to like try and make it in my music or whatever, I can compare myself to all the other musicians that are in the different part of the consciousness race, I'm calling it, you know what I mean? To like, get their message heard or whatever. Like, I can't compare myself to any of those people, man. You know what I mean?
I know, Tor, you always do the whole art doesn't lend over to competition, and so pool gives you like a window into the competition, and then there's the poising that up against the we play basketball in the mornings every a couple times a week, but your age is something like pool is something that you're going to be able to take longer than the basketball game. We both know that and acknowledge that.
Totally.
So maybe there's some like physical fitness in there, right? Some yoga.
That's next on the list. Trying to get down on that yoga stuff, that hot one. I want to be sweaty.
Yeah, you got to.
Holding crazy poses.
Yeah. Well, and
ready.
This is a good example. I'm a big guy, and so and I'm right-handed. But if you were left-handed and you were going to try and shoot this shot, you'd kind of be poised in a way that you'd have to have your hand way up, and this is looking a lot like one of those yoga pictures on the wall right there.
Yeah,
by the time you start getting there. And so not only do you have to like put yourself in that yoga position, but then you have to like stroke the ball,
That's where the real athleticism of the game.
Yeah, the athleticism of the game comes into play. Mm-hmm. Can't believe we're not an Olympic sport.
That's a shame.
Yeah, there's like some good people pushing on that though. Maybe one day. I mean, ping pong is. Curling is, but pool is not.
Those are both badass sports. That's why.
Listen to this guy.
Ping pong.
They are. There's an awesome curling documentary I watched not too long ago. Those guys are just out there with the beers and the thing, just like serious athletes.
Such a finesse
We
shot
stayed
of
up.
millimeters.
We stayed up way past bedtime watching YouTube videos on all kinds of like information that dove into the wormholes of the internet. Right? There's one by that same guy. Shout out to Michael from Vsauce. If you guys ever want to like give your children like good educational content, that is just like mine.
You just showed us one last night about the 80-20 rule.
Right. And but there's another one. Dang it, I'm losing my thought on what.
Bring it back.
Yeah, we got to rewind on what it was why we brought up Vsauce. But for the kids, it was hang on. Let me shoot this stuff. It'll come back to me.
Remember I was saying earlier about this, like, we'll be talking about this like tree, right, that we're building here, we're growing in our conversation, and then you got to like make a branch, and then maybe like a leaf comes into play here.
Yeah.
So sometimes you use your train of thought, and the homie's got to be like, hold on, get me back to
You
that.
got to come back to the branch.
Yeah, let's get back to that
point.
trunk here real quick.
That can happen.
I
That guy
believe we were
makes
talking about ping pong when you took a left turn on that branch.
Oh yeah, there's some Olympics there. That's
Man,
for
it
sure.
was.
Olympics,
It was
Olympics.
after ping pong, but we're getting close to it. There was a. You want to try it again?
It was like if you were left-handed and you had to like do the yoga pose over the table. You were talking about yoga.
That was before ping pong even. That was the
We're
physical
ping-ponging
side of things.
everywhere, dude.
Yeah, you jumped back a little far.
Too far?
Too far.
Yeah.
I feel like
Too
that's
far.
where the branch started.
Well,
You're talking about the trunk.
we live in like a bush here at Sharky Waters. Our conversations
Yeah.
are all intertwined. and
Big old
connected.
bush.
They do.
All right.
What's
Well,
worth two in a bush? What was that one?
5. It's two in the bush is worth
One in the hand.
one in the hand. And I feel like that makes a lot of sense.
What does that jumble of words
No,
mean,
it's
dude?
one in the hand is worth 2 in the bush.
One in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. That means if you can get a bird to get into your hand,
That'd be
that's
so
as
amazing.
valuable as you being able to like point out that there's 2 in the bush.
I'd say so. Maybe that might be worth like 3, 4, 5 birds in the bush.
Yeah, you're just looking at those
depends on the
birds.
bird, I guess.
Yeah, right. Like, what's like the rate? Like, what would you guys trade off? Like, how many birds is it where all of a sudden it's like that's more impressive than
I
like
found 5
one?
birds in the vent of the in the vent of the above the stove here at the Sharky Waters set at one point. Maybe in the summertime, it was like they were springs. They were like little chicklings, remember? And we had to. It was just after Easter.
3 shots.
We put them in Clyde's Easter basket so
Yeah,
that they
totally.
could live long enough to like fly away.
That's crazy.
Well, and I remember too that one of them almost met early demise to your cat Moscone.
That's right. That's right. It took some damage, as Clyde would say.
Took some
Probably
damage.
a great opportunity to segue in that I promised my son. I promised my son, and he was really concerned that I wouldn't share with the audience of Sharky Waters that his cat spoke to him, and it said. And so the story was that he asked me to tell you guys that.
Can
And
you
I-
repeat that quote, please, for everyone?
I'm
who-
going there. And so I told him I promised I would. And then the very next day, and my schedule doesn't lend that he's here on the evenings that we film the show. And so I tell him, well, it's not, but whenever it's time for me to do the show, I'll tell him that. And then the next day he saw me, which I want to say was like a Monday or something. He was like, did you tell the people on Sharky Waters that my cat said, I was like, no, I didn't. I will tell him, I promise. And so I think what's funny about that is clearly the cat hissed at him. I think that's like the message, but he's like inhaling.
I think
when he
that's what it
says it.
is, yeah. And he takes it as such a positive experience as well. I love that.
Yeah, it's great news that he's like spoken to him,
He probably says so much to that cat. He was like, it's finally trying to let me know what's going
absolutely.
on.
Well,
it's all paying off.
Clyde, bless his heart, he's got a couple friends that he's a little bit older than, and so he's navigating the conversation. Some of them are like speaking and learning to speak, and that's something that you can and he's had this cat since he was a kitten, and so he's like,
What's the
he's
cat's
like under
name?
the impression, he might be under the impression that this thing's like gonna just continue to grow communication skills on beyond a hiss.
It very well could.
I mean, that's what Clyde's going through, right? Leveling up the communication.
Yeah.
Cat's doing as well. Is that Astro or Monster Truck? Which one of these
Astro.
cats? Astro.
Yeah, which is funny because his cat that he named was Monster Truck, and Hank, his brother, named Astro, and then the way the cats wound up behaving, that Monster Truck wants nothing to do with Clyde, and Hank's just like, all right, then but Astro doesn't mind him like holding him and picking him up. Until this one moment where he's learned to speak, which is the new thing.
Well, Dom, do you have any important lingering questions that we need to drop here? Because if not, we're just in time for the lightning round.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to go watch the footage and figure out what it was, that one thing that slipped away from my thought. I can tell you that that's called prestez-vous, when the word is on the tip of your tongue. And I learned that from Michael on Vsauce.
All right, well, a new segment on Sharky Waters starting right now, the lightning round. Cosmo, we're going to give you a topic, and as fast as lightning, you're going to have to tell us if it's whack or if it's wicked.
Oh, okay. It's
If
one
it's
of
whack
those.
or if it's wicked.
Yeah, if it's whack or if it's wicked.
Yeah.
Sweet, I'm ready for this.
All right.
I've seen
Wickedy,
these
wicked,
ones
or
before.
whack?
All right. Traditional Rastafarian dreadlocks.
Yeah. Wait, which is the good one?
Wicked.
Wicked.
Don't forget, this is lightning round. We need Anthony's answers.
Yeah.
Quick.
Yeah, as fast as you can. Okay.
I'm
Modern
immune to that stuff, man. I'm chilling,
modern
dude.
large format sound systems.
Very wicked.
Wicked.
Okay. Big
me
parties
an
of dance
FG1.
music that go late into the evening.
Wicked.
Okay. Camping out in the desert.
Wicked.
All right, that's our lightning round. You passed all of the
Bad at all.
questions.
Thank God. I was really nervous.
Twizzlers or Red Vine?
Red Vine.
Wicked. All right, everybody, we're going to take a short break. When we return, we're going to have the crew match. Eric and I have to rematch, I believe. Cassandra could not make it here. So we'll see if I can take Eric on. In the meantime, enjoy some beats for a short minute while we get set up. And when we return, that and more on Sharky Waters, The Night Dive.
I got Cosmo in the booth with me, commentating for the crew match.
Alright, let's do this, dude.
Is this a rematch? Is this a crew rematch?
This is a career match.
A career match. This is the crew match. Calling it the crown or the VIP. You can see over there. No debate about it. Looks like Eric's won it. No chalk. That's the gag for the day. There is one on the ground, actually. There you go. It's a small piece of organic material that he's using to apply to the other organic material on the tip of his cue. One is chalk. Talk. How do you spell that? T-A-L-C? No, that's not what we're. That's not what we're talking about. And we're talking Mo Chalkin. He's off. He's off to the run.
My life?
Yeah. I don't know how you interpret the words I just said.
Oh, saving up for a scratch. TJ Cosmo's over here sharking Eric, asking him small talk. Nobody can. Nope.
I like the conversation. You guys stimulate my brain. That's what I like.
Well, the conversation is always pretty good here, but meanwhile, Tor's running out with a combo almost. Not too safe. I don't know if I can mess with the buttons here. See if I can get a different angle. There you go. Got another look. Still tough to see, but I mean, looks like it's angled a little off of the rail. He's going to cut it just a bit. Give him enough to. Yeah, it's a good shot. Yeah, that was a pretty wild shot there. You know, he said it. You know, it had to be said from the commentary, but he said it himself. But maybe that was a little autopilot of his own directing there. But he went for a cut and tried to come across back table to get to the 7, but he hooked himself there too. So it's just bad all around. You see Tor struggles with that one. On this angle, you can see how close people are. We're back here just talking right in their ears while they play. So this is me waving.
All it takes is a new way, a phrase, a new way to phrase something, and it changes your way.
No, I don't disagree.
There we go. That gives it a good angle there. He's going to have a weird kick shot here. From this angle, it kind of looks like that 7 is the 4 ball, and it's purple, but it's not. Yeah, I mean, it's a good hit. You got a good hit. Soft little follow will do this shot pretty good. He's going to stun it and follow the rail down long ways. Ooh, you might have caught the fin there.
You did.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. It left Eric Rowe long though. It's a lot of gray in between the cue ball and the orange ball there. He's calling moving the 9. You know, that's not necessary in the game of 9 ball. Luck does count, but there's always that element of ego there, if you can call it. Oh yeah, there's a lot of my big Eric turned around and gave us a good if line. I don't even my brain just shuts off after people say if. But I always hear my big brother. He taught me if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, then everybody would have a Merry Christmas. But that's an if. If I'll say that again. If ifs and buts were candies and nuts, because Eric missed that shot. He wanted to turn around and give me like a if that was a something. And I'm like, yeah, I get it.
I don't care for that phrase at all. It's a terrible phrase.
Yeah, it's pretty harsh.
But dude, I don't even like walnuts. You know, honestly.
You don't like walnuts?
I'm not a big nut fan. You know what I mean?
You like cashews?
Hate them all. Don't even.
Cashew's not actually a nut. You can look that up. It's like a weird seed of a sort, you know. Very labor intensive to get a cashew. That's why they're so much so expensive over a peanut, which is actually a legume. It's not a nut at all.
A lot of the best thing. Oh, we're talking quieter, or we're talking. I thought we were all more of this.
No, you're perfect. Well, you're just not mic'd up, so it's like way quieter.
Oh, no.
You need to talk in that mic.
Yeah.
Definitely should talk into this mic.
You guys can see that Eric the Clock Doctor and Tor, our producer, are actually still, they just are always working. They can't even take off their work modes. Keeping us in line back here in the commentary booth, helping hold the show together while trying to play a game.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's going for the 9 right here. He could move it.
Pretty much, unless I'm
Well,
on a YouTube job.
Looked like a little safe shot. I like this angle here. Nice shot. Little heavy-handed.
Sit down now.
Little heavy-handed. He's gonna have a good line on it in the same pocket, but yeah, we call that a high dopamine rush.
I was just
That was
going
close.
to say that, Eric. Yeah, it's fire. You know, me as an audio guy, that sound of that strike is very.
It was a good try on a tough cut. That was actually way closer than I thought he was going to be, and he got the position that he would have needed on that 9 ball too. It's not necessarily a tough shot per se for Eric, but he's going to have to put some action on the ball to get back. And before I could even let the words out of my mouth, he let the shot out of his cannon, and donk donk was the sound of two fins. It's almost the exact same position that Eric had. Yeah, it's facing you right now.
I didn't know you guys did this one.
Yeah.
I like it.
Back table. As long as that ball goes all the way back down towards him and sits on that rail, he's going to be pretty good. That's a tough position to shoot from. Yeah, it's a tough shot. It doesn't look like much if you're not a real pool aficionado or real familiar with the game. You can think that that ball is just a foot away from a pocket, and still, that's a thin angle there. Let's see what he's going to do. He went for the cut.
It was a good shot and darn.
Yeah, you can see as the sun sets over his shoulders there, it's gonna probably be a little nighttime on the game. It's coming down to an end. He leaves Tor with a duck there. Oh, some magic. That ball actually went to the third dimension. Up. Yeah, it went upward. We got left and right, forward and backwards out there, but kind of crossing that plane and a little heavy on the distance on it. So he's got kind of that same tough cut that we've seen a couple times here. 2 railing it back around, 3, 4 rails, and it travels. The cue ball moves.
It went almost all the way around.
Yeah, that would have been cool if it went all the way around. But alas, looks like the sun sets on Tor's shoulders there. Talk about the last mistake there on the game. That's how it happens. Good shooting, guys.
All right, another quick break, and when we return, the Shark Attack and more on Sharky Waters Wednesday Night Dive. Say.
I handed me, so I used it. Oh,
I don't have a zipper.
I don't have nuts. My zipper button don't have nuts.
Nice try.
Oh, yeah.
Nice try, Jordan. You ready to lag this out, Nathan?
All right, we're back. Sharky Waters Wednesday Night Dive. You're watching the Shark Attack. Our host Dom against our guest this week, Cosmo. They're going to play a 9-ball game, race to 7. The first person to 7 wins is taking home the gold tonight. They're going to lag for the break to see who gets to break first. And then after that, the rules are you got to make a legal shot. You can carry them. You can combo. If that 9 goes down, the victory for that rack is yours. And the 3 foul rule is in effect. So for anyone who's not familiar with the 3 foul rule, if you scratch or foul, and your opponent is required to let you know when you have 2 fouls. And if you commit a 3rd foul, you lose the rack.
In a row, right? 3 fouls in a row. You just lose the rack.
Correct.
Cool.
And that, of course, is Eric the Clock Doctor, the wonderful voice, world-class Sean Connery impersonator.
Hello, everybody. There's no S's and there's no
sounds
S's.
just like him. Unfortunately, our pro Shark Attack commentator, Cassandra, could not be with us today. Cassandra, if you're watching, we miss you. We hope you're doing well. Well, Dom won the break, so he won the lag, excuse me, so he'll be breaking. Eric, why don't you tell me a little bit about what you think we're going to see here tonight?
I think we're going to see some good pool. I also think we have a potential for quite a quick match, maybe. I think these two, their pool skills are different and vastly on opposite ends. Cosmo focuses his time a lot more on other things like music that he excels at, and he does amazing things in audios. And but it's awesome to have him, just like anybody, be a part of this pool world and this community that we're building, and come in and jump on and show his skills on the camera.
Speaking of skills on the camera, Dom gets that 1 to go on the break and gets a easy look at the 2 and great leave on the 3, and he's off to a pretty solid start here.
I do know that Cosmo is very anxious to kick some Dom ass on this table tonight, so he's going to be putting his best efforts out there, and I'm excited to see it.
I am the Eggman.
We are all the Eggman.
Yeah, Eggman. Fun realizing, brother.
Well, we can feel the energy and the elation in the room. You'd have to see it to believe it, but it's there.
That's another thing I was going to say about this match, is that it's this whole group we have tonight are very close people. We all know each other very well, and so I think it's going to be a little bit more relaxed, and we're all having more fun. It's
I think it is everything that's not on this show.
it's tough not to have a great time, laugh, and just get deep and talk about crazy shit.
It's like one letter right there.
Slides that 6 ball by the 7 nicely on the side.
You ready to play?
At some point, you do.
Nathan over here saying he can't wait till he gets to play some pool here tonight on the show. I think he might have sharked Dom into a tough leave on the 8 here. And even if he makes that 8, it's going to be tough to get back around on that 9.
Oh, a little theatrics.
You know, this shot didn't go down the way that Dom was manifesting it, but here's the silver lining from Dom's perspective here. If you can see from the camera, we're just on the outside of that fin. That looks like it's a sitting duck, but that is one of the toughest shots to get in that pocket. You got to kick at it to get the right angle, or you got to do some like serious English spin work
put some inside English so that masse that almost like they were practicing, it goes out and comes back in a little bit
It
to
all
cut that angle
comes full circle, doesn't it?
Yes.
To this
So
moment.
quite a bit of pressure here on Cosmo. Luckily, we're behind glass and he can't hear us saying all this to him.
Nailed it.
It's so good. I think I'm pretty much having
Yep.
I'm picturing this right here, like a mirror image, like right there.
You got it.
Good speed on it, good angle, and he makes it no problem.
What a shot from the young scientist.
Now this long
Schooling.
distance sniper shit.
Schooling his students.
He took us sharks behind the scenes here and just said, you know what?
Let it rip.
I'm a much better shark than you. You don't scare me at all.
What's that guy?
Play some
Bradley
pool.
guy?
The Sharky has become the Shark A.
Yeah, let it rip.
Maybe I'm no. I think I'm more of a thin red.
Shark AD, my friend.
Shark ADM to you as well.
Eric, what's your favorite like word? Yeah, you know, I use thin red mine.
There you have it. Game 1 to Cosmo.
Just like he planned it. Let Dom do the hard work, get all those balls down, take over, and drive the last few in.
Gathering days, you know what I'm saying? It's like you let them break all the rules and you just call the judge over and let them, They're one of my favorite cards. There's one called Pact the Negation. And so it's free, but then it says if you don't pay the mana next turn, then you lose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you gotta pay it forward.
And so I just keep talking and rambling and just hype them up crazy and get their friends involved behind them and stuff, and I make them forget to pay
Shark
mana.
the hell out of
And
them.
then I just be like, Judge, and then they'd like lose my sorry guy, my bad. I don't actually. It ain't about being friends, man.
Just trying to get you guys to chat it up.
We're hearing some very inflammatory competitive rhetoric here.
As he left the one ball in the same pocket. Shane Van Boning on my own show.
Oh, is it? That was not good.
What are you doing?
Take your pick.
We have Mama Ramos here on the thread saying, woohoo, Cosmo. She's excited for that first win. She knows Dom's about to go home sad at the end of this show. She's ready for it.
That's right. She's in the chat room. Clenched fist. That's my boy.
Fist emoji.
This one.
That's a good
I've never
one.
seen this one before.
That's how I got you. No balls in the pocket.
Yeah, right. It's pretty cool. This one seems like it's got history.
Oh, well, that's a dry break for Cosmo.
That's actually-
He's going to hand it
History.
right back over to
That's a
Dom.
World Cup. Nathan just said that it's got like history. It's like a magic rack from a World Cup tournament that actually just got purchased by Matchroom. Like, shout out to Emily Frazier and people who are like running the Moscone Cup and the production behind all of that and trying to like really lift this sport up. Like the tide that rises all the boats in our industry. They just acquired that. A huge history of pool. You can check out all the names and all the champions who have won that shit. But today they announced that they acquired it under their conglomerate.
Some champions who will be on the show in the next few seasons. I'm putting that out there.
Getting a little backstory from Dom. We didn't quite get the mics up on all of it, but about the break diamond, the magic rack. Well, Cosmo breaks him up nice, sends it over to Dom, and he unfortunately doesn't connect on the one ball in the way he hoped. Sends it all the way back and scratches.
I was thinking about how gorgeous Emily Frazier was.
Who's that?
She's the like CEO of Matchroom Pool Corporation that's been watching all of the hugest productions and pool tournaments in the world.
Matchroom. Has nothing to do with Match.com. I don't know if it does.
It's like the people who brought you like the World Series of poker.
Cool.
So Eric, bit of an upset here with this opening score, wouldn't you say?
Oh my god.
Not for the true fans on the.
No for the true fans. I ain't worried about the score. I'm saying
We all saw this win coming. This first win with Cosmo.
here, so stoked. Yeah, just about to say, just scream. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just sick.
It's also
Coming up on next year is going to be the 1 year anniversary. Next week is going to be the 1 year anniversary of the show.
we've done a lot in a year, folks.
Season 2, because tornadoes are like 1 year and 1 episode or 1 season, so I guess that kind of had me thrown off a little bit. Seems like you guys have been going for a while now, but
One season was 19 weeks, and our second season is going to be 33 weeks, I think is the plan.
Yeah. This is dope. What's next? What's like the next thing that we can do to improve the space?
We're going to San Francisco.
No, really? I'm ready. What do I do?
Well, yeah, first you're going to learn how to play 9-ball, but
Yeah, right? Goodness gracious. I'm just gonna try and be safe, I guess. Burning Man at safety's third.
Assessing here at the table, let's see what he wants to do with the one ball. Not too many options.
Tell me
Plays
that
a
again.
safe shot.
Huh?
tell me that again.
At Burning Man at
Far
safety's
enough
third.
that The floor ball gets in the way.
What are
of
the
his
first two?
Angle on the one.
Not
So
safety.
Dom might save back. We'll see.
Touche.
Yeah. That thing was nice. It caught me off guard when they're like, you know, they pick a bunch of different little drops. How many total you got?
There's a bunch of them.
I don't know.
The trick is choosing which ones are the right people.
Yeah, that one was great. I feel like I suddenly could breathe better.
I know, right? Someone open the window, please. I know.
That's awesome.
It starts to get a little like Las Vegas-y, though. You're like, how long does it take for a sun to set? Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah, right.
Funny story.
Dom
when I
misses
used
that
to
one there around and hits the
race
5.
sailboats. Heard you captain of
Nathan
them
following him
in
here
Hawaii.
with
It's like what it
good look
reminds
on the
me of,
one.
that you
Got a
could
little bit of work to pull that back a couple
gamble
inches to get a good
with
shot on the 2.
the tourists on how long it would take for the bottom of the circle of the sun to drop so that the top was behind the horizon. You know what I mean? Like, as soon as the bottom touches, we start the clock. And as soon as you can't see it anymore, you would stop the clock. How long do you think it is? You know, people would guess and all that stuff. And it's like 2 minutes and 10 seconds, 2 minutes and 11 seconds. It's like pretty fast. It goes by pretty quick. Most people bet way off. Cheap way to get drinks. Hey, that works.
Got lucky.
Got a little lucky on the 2-ball, but luck counts, as they say. They do say that.
I bought a table to like fix up and sell for clean slate pool tables, and the woman that we bought the pool table from.
Oh, shit. Dang it.
Ooh,
She
that was
like,
bound to be a
"And
good
do you
safe
want
shot.
the-
Hits the fin and pops out.
And do you want the pool room decorations too? Like an email, like put that in quotations, talking about the picture. Hell yeah.
I actually just remade this beat. This was a beat that was going to be a Grandmaster song coming out in March, but we ended up deciding to do a new beat for it. I think next week is next week's show or the week after. We're gonna like sneak preview air the new Grandmaster song,
It'd
the
be
5.
Next one, the following one will be too late.
The 5,
Fine.
as in like the freeway, the I-5.
Oh, word.
It's a really, really good song.
Thanks, man. It's
a banger, as the kids say. That's something they say.
I think they call it a bop now.
It's
Yeah.
a bop.
Oh, my
bop.
God. Really? There's a new word?
I think that's like Bop's at least a year or 2 year.
Well,
Yeah.
you're on that ground level being in high school. That's what I need you for, brother. You know what I mean? Keep me tapped in. The
Yeah,
source of
I'll
you.
pull the new beat up. Actually, I want to like get your
That's Bob. Sick.
get your opinion on it,
Kids are so
Cosmo.
Totally.
Love. Kids Bob.
Let's see here. Yeah, this was so I teach at the Tacoma School of the Arts, obviously, and what I'm not doing right now is keeping up with all the balls that Dom is making. Do a quick update. We only got the 8 and the 9 left. You snuck up on me there. And so what we're listening to right now was like a demo that I made in class to show the Ableton Push controller. It's like a music software and like an instrument that you play, like a little MIDI instrument that you play. And you can use it for music making and DJing and all that kind of stuff. And so I did this to show an example of like how fast you could make a new song. And then Joe, the other guy in Grandmasters, he was like, I really like this, let's do a song to it. And then the more that we started working on the song, we were like kind of falling out of love with the beat.
You can be there.
So I'll play the new beat that we like just redid.
Normally do them.
Yeah, totally, man.
Did you take like the original one and make it more intricate or add things to it, or did you start fresh?
We totally started fresh. We actually wrote all the verses and vocals and stuff and only kept those.
Yeah.
That's just me sucking.
And then see if I can actually get this to go. Oh, I know why it's not connecting. Hold on.
I didn't get
Dom throws that 9 ball in the corner there, no problem. Bring in the match 1-1.
Ties it up.
I had to do it before they started talking about
Nice
it.
out by Dom. I'll pull it up. I have to do a little tech work here in the background to get it going, but I'm excited about this. We got Cosmo in the room. Cosmo is one of the main reasons that I make this kind of music. Huge influence on me, getting me into the Ableton software and all that good stuff. And so I'm kind of curious to drop this little beat. So this is going to be like our title track.
This one right here?
We're putting this one out in March. So this is a extra early sneak preview. And this song is going to be called The Grandmasters, actually. It's like a... We are playing it at our show on the 31st at Barboza, yeah. So, but here's an instrumental, no vocals, just the beat, just to give you a feel.
It's all good. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, I like it already.
Nice, there we go. Man, don't forget a little dot.
Call those wiffle wins.
I used to, or pickleball.
That's fun. Don't get Tor started about pickleball, man. We watch the
We have one of
pickleball
those-
guys every morning.
We have one of those courts at my godmother's house actually out there. It's a fun time.
You know, there's a saying, hate the player, not the game, you know, and that's how I feel about in this particular pickle, if you will.
Now baseball.
And hate's a strong word anyways, so.
I'm Puerto Rican. I like have to like it, even if I don't like care. It's so weird.
Push.
So this is the 5 or this is the...
No, this is Grandmaster.
Yeah,
This is
this track is called The Grandmasters. I'll rewind it and I'll...
Well, I've been listening to it, but like that you jump from the 5 first, which I know is doing that one in a couple weeks. But this is like just an extra like, even more fucking.
Yeah, this is just a beat.
exclusive.
This is just a beat. Yeah, we're gonna drop the whole track, the 5, a couple days early on this show next week. You'll get to hear it, and
So I got that one.
That will be on our 1-year anniversary for the show. And the couple day early debut of that
Look
song.
at that. That's beautiful.
For people who have not bought their tickets to that show at
the ticket link is posted in the comments. Actually, you can look for
already
the
one step ahead of me, that guy.
Sharky Waters comment. We hope to see you there at Barboza in Seattle. With
Clock Doctor will be there.
Wands and the Clock Doctor, Eric and Deborah and the whole Sharky Waters crew.
I won't actually be up
That's
on
right.
stage unless I get enough people to chant my name, then they might bring me up. We'll see how that goes, though. So all my Clock Doc fans out there, remember to throw that out during the show.
Yeah, we do have a minimum number of people that you will have to bring with you in order for you to be eligible for that, and that number is 76. So if you bring yourself and 76 guests, we will
77
put
tickets.
we will enter your name in the drawing to get on stage and rap a freestyle about being a clock doctor.
Oh, yeah, no problem. I got those loaded, ready to go.
Bars.
Yes, I also like to drink at bars. I know music stuff. Nice shot there by Dom. Getting a little run going here. Has a good line set up for the next couple. Ooh, interesting approach. I thought he was going to go into the side.
Same.
And bring it up and back.
Bring it back now, y'all.
I bet you guys thought I was going to try and make that one, too. Instead of a safety.
Well, Dom in his high pool IQ plays that insatiable safety, leaving Cosmo no option here but to throw a Hail Mary.
Yeah, get them both.
Laces out, Dan.
Fire in the hole.
He swings for the fences and a miss.
Ball too much, man. Gotta hit the wall more, not the ball.
No problem on that 7 ball. Throws it right in the corner pocket, leaving a great shot to finish this.
But you'll never be part of our...
With a bullet. Frank Zappa. Little dribble of the 9 ball there. You almost thought it was going to fin out, and it didn't. It did not. Great out by Dom, setting the score 2-1.
Yeah, almost missed that one. It's always the first and last that are the hardest, though. This beat is like so Ninja Turtles. Man.
Yeah, I was just thinking of like some sewer shit. That's so funny. Nice. Tight. Well done, Tor.
Cowabunga.
For sure.
That's awesome.
Drops the 2 in the side, and if that 6 keeps going, he'll have a nice look on the 1 there. Yeah, no problem.
This is a beat to a song called Isotope. It's like before Grandmasters with Joe Fish and his brother Jeremy, a.k.a. The Worm. Wanted to write a song about what it felt like to have a psychedelic experience.
Oh, is that what it's about?
And that's this song right here.
Isotope, liquid dope. I like that science. I know that.
Looking far out through our telescopes.
Great shot, pull back to keep it away from that 9. Come, give him a good leave on the 4 there. And welcome, Cassandra. It's glad to have you on the show. Hope you're feeling well. Just saw that you tuned in with us here.
Cassandra Bryant. Shout out to our Pro Shark commentator.
Shashi Kashi, as Sean Connery would say.
I heard that you had really good impressions, Eric.
That, of course, was not actually Sean Connery, though I know it sounded exactly like him. That was Eric, the Clock Doctor.
Psych, folks,
Doing an
just me. We'll get the real Sean in here at some point.
Again?
Maybe he'll be here before you know it.
Oh, who was that at the door?
It was just
Hello, it is me, Sean with the German type accent.
sounded weirdly Irish. Oh yeah, Sean with the German accent.
Nobody likes the Germans. Where's the bad guy? They get no pay.
That sounded
They're actually
Australian.
Good people. I'm moving into the other stuff. Just move it around into whatever I be like. Into the table, man. Throwing the 8 down the rail into the corner.
Gets the 8 to go. Wow. I can only imagine, just given our vocal performance, that we're just losing viewers by the minute here. So shout out to everybody who's still there supporting, watching this game as Dom takes home another one.
Okay, so this rack's got to be like someone else. If that was Sean, who's next? Christopher Walken's next.
Yes.
Tor has a good Christopher Walken. We'll let. I also know he knows the man personally, and he invited him over tonight. So we'll see. I think he's about to show up actually for this game. I'm really looking forward to talking to Christopher Walken this
know
whole
him?
game.
Personally?
Hello, Eric.
Christopher, how's it going, man? It's good to see you.
It's going great. Thanks for asking. 8, was it the 8 ball? No, it was the 4 ball in the corner pocket.
Oh my god. Don't panic. That's what it says on the cover of the book.
Minor damage to the set here. Had to send the repair crew out.
It's like
Fortunately, it doesn't. Yeah, yeah. Christopher got really freaked out when that thing fell off the wall. He just bolted straight out of here. Didn't even just saw the.
Didn't even say bye.
Yeah.
That's clowning.
Pretty good looking spread on the table here. Hard to imagine Dom's gonna have a lot of trouble cleaning anything up.
Oh, I overcut it. Can you believe that?
Comes into contact with the 9, and it really looked like that was going to be danger for old Cosmopolitan.
Record there. Yeah, let me get some of that. Come back and it's all gone.
It was like the same shot I made last time. I missed last time.
Now you can combo the 9 though.
Think about what you would have changed last time I heard you say it.
Oh, dude. Make it this time.
See, that's positive
Make the ball
reinforcement
lean
there.
more to the left.
Absolutely. You can hear with every breath as Cosmo unlocks the truth
Potential.
Oh, come on, man.
to his
One more
possible
thing of this,
successes.
Sitting there like a fucker.
You know, I still feel very good about that. I was like, that was pretty close.
Can't get much better of a shot without it going in. Dom cleans it up, unfortunately. Gets himself a little awkward behind the 5 ball. I bet he's going to still be able to get the 2.
I feel like when I play this game, I'm always just like waiting for the crumbs.
Absolutely. That's really all any of us can do on the table is to get better. Is if you miss a shot, don't get disappointed with yourself.
Hey, look at that.
Look at it.
It's the thing that we were learning at the beginning of the show.
Looks like he's going to use a mass save.
You could say we have a story arc here.
You shot him mid-laugh? Come on, bro.
Yeah, totally. Are you guys seeing this? This is art.
But yeah, all you can do is if you miss a ball, assess the situation
Just try
and
and win.
take a second and figure out what was it that I
It's
did
scary.
that I could have done better in order to make that shot more successful, and try it next time. And if you get good at that, you'll get a little bit better every time you have
Just
that
get
new
Pogon
shot
at
in
home.
mind. And
Hoop, you like blue cheese?
before you know it,
If so, please subscribe.
Shark for the best of them.
Shout out to
Yeah, one of my
Always
favorite
really loving her.
trainers, like early YouTubers, guy by the name of Gannon Baker, did like youth basketball development and stuff. He talked about this, and he said it's true of any sport or pretty much anything physical, that it takes like with an ideal form
Whatever it was, like thought it was like
in practice, it takes about 300 repetitions to commit something to memory, but it takes up to 3,000 to change that repetition that you've made like a pattern.
The one that you're trying to overcome.
Exactly. So like this goes back to like what Dom says at the end of every show, like perfect practice makes perfect performance. The like perfect practice part is like what's so relevant about that, because like people bang balls around all day like with no intention and aren't seeing change the way that they like totally are capable of. And that's the answer, is like your fundamentals and like coming back to that and making sure that you're doing that first 300 the right way that it needs to be done.
Exactly. Practicing the right form, the right techniques and everything, instead of reinforcing bad habits. Looks like Nathan here has some lollipop power. Threw that 2 in and has a good line.
Delicious.
On the 3, potentially, you can see
I
it.
made it worse, honestly.
Made good contact with the 3. Didn't quite send it where he hoped.
Oh, yeah. Nice one.
Came back a little far. I think Dom doesn't have too much to think about here.
Boom.
Like a tough job.
Trying to put some backspin on there to keep it out of the other corner pocket, and just narrowly misses. It's very good contact.
That was a really well thought out shot. Just unfortunately just a tiny bit off target there. It's too bad.
Keep going.
No problem on that 3 in the side. Drifts it forward. I think he was asking for it to keep going a few more inches to get a good shot on the side, but he can make this work.
Who's this song by? Yeah, thanks for all the music work, man. It feels cool to
Yeah,
have,
there's probably only like 10 songs on here that are not your fan.
yeah, it's cool to have like
I think it's only 2 songs on the playlist now that are not mine. It's like 2 Pills Beats tracks. Shout out Pills Beats.
yeah. It's like starting to feel like it's pretty synonymous, though. You know, your music, when I hear it, it feels like feels like hosting the show and being on the show.
Too much.
It's like the theme of the week is that weird shot, that weird cut. Should put that on the drill next week or something.
Squeezes it by that 9 ball, makes good contact. A little bit less, just slightly would have thrown it in, but
Good lead, though.
yeah, also had a good leave on the next shot as well. Down here has a duck on the 5. Bring it back for the 7.
Way too hard.
Throws a little bit of extra juice on that cue ball, but enough to give him a good line down into the corner. Only thing is that cue ball being on the rail. Another one of those fin out and leaves like we were talking about. Nathan had this almost exact same shot on the other corner, opposite corner earlier.
Did he make it last time though?
He did make
Made it.
the kick shot last time. I'm not sure if the 9 is in the way or not this time.
It's too much, bro.
It's like he might opt to try and cut it or play a safe.
Maybe I get this thing.
Bamboozled.
Maybe. I'm dead. Tori, you're hella good at this thing.
Put the bridge down on the.
Yeah, just hold it there as well.
Straight up. Yeah, exactly.
Shit. Great.
What are you guys coaching during Shark Tank?
What's that?
So the coaching.
Yeah. Little
Like that now?
little tips going on in the background here.
It's all broken up.
Nice one.
I think in hindsight, we're gonna find this path around the table to be a very unique one on the graph that is the time knife.
Nice.
Talking about the unique path around.
Yeah, I'm just saying this episode in particular is like just gonna be a interesting one looking back.
Oh,
So close, almost got that 7 in the corner.
well, yeah, a lot of things going on in the time knife.
We got smoked in these last few. We had a concert to go to.
It's quantum soup out there.
It's a secret.
Good shot on that 7 ball.
Made me nervous, though.
Drifts
You
it
come,
up
Eric. The ticket's
for
$9.
the 9 into the corner.
$9 ticket at Jazz Bones will get you there. Come hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah, come through.
Yeah, you can shout out to that. What time we're gonna be there after the show?
Hey, everybody's gonna be like, what is happening? Yeah, tell everybody to go to that show. I gotta be stoked. I think his name's like Robert or something like that. I got another.
Nice on the 9 ball, bringing the match 3-2. Cosmo's not gonna
It's not the goose. It's not the egg. It's not
let
the
this
goose
thing
egg
slip away from him.
Everybody was worried about.
Said no problem.
All the egg.
Throw those balls out on the table for Dom to rack for his break.
It's in the trees as they swing and don't. It's in the cars as they listen, my friend. It's in the dogs.
Whose voice is this, Dora?
This is a remix of a Power Laces song. It's actually Joe Fish's old band before Grandmasters.
Nice solid break there. Those balls were running all around the table. Unfortunately, they just barely missed out on the little parts of the table that let them fall off
Little
the
parts
table.
of the table that matter.
I think if the magic rack were not there, he would have found himself a little more favorable on the defense. I think that cue ball would have rolled behind the 9 a little more than it did, and
Want to ref this?
Huh?
looks
You
like
want to referee this?
Dom's got pretty easy look on the
Judge.
1 there. Doing the best he can to get that magic rack out of the way, and
It's good to me. Oh, jeez. Judge.
Foul.
the ruling is that Dom will play with 1 foul, but he will maintain possession of the ball.
How'd they all wind up right there? It's a weird break.
Big gust of wind.
Yeah. It'd be a weird ride to navigate through. So just change it up. Throw a curveball out there. Pun intended.
No problem on that one, and it's a good look on the two ball.
Dope for when you make them, dude. Feels
It's that high dopamine rush that we're going after.
They go
Play
in the
pool.
thing, you shoot it again.
Little small increments of following your fundamentals, small little treats of reward for doing what's right.
Didn't quite make it, but through the 2 and 6, a little bit of trouble there. I can't see from my angle if that 2 can get by into the corner or not.
Trouble, Eric.
So we'll see what Dom has to do with this. All right, no problem on that 2. Just slides right by.
Just pops it on in there like a floppy disk.
It's like 32 megs.
A floppy?
Yeah.
Oh no, dude. 1.4, my friend.
Thanks.
Yeah. And that's the more recent
Trail,
of the
number munchers,
floppy family.
All that fit on one.
What is that, like
1.4
12 Word
megabytes,
document
dude.
pages?
Yeah.
Talking
Like quite literally.
That's nuts.
No, Oregon Trail came with like multiple floppy disks for installation. It was like 10 or something. It was a lot. It was like a Rolodex container style. I remember,
That's so sick.
full of floppies.
Yeah, one disc could only get you to Fort Bend.
Yeah, I mean, so that we're talking like Apple II era or whatever, like the first Oregon Trail game, I think, and that was like half your hard drive if you installed that. Your computer was either like an Oregon Trail computer or it was like a calc app
Yeah.
in like a Word doc computer.
I'm always on the verges of teetering on some lines of like statute of limitations and stuff, but
Doesn't leave him easy on the
when I was
3,
younger,
so
I was involved in
gonna have to kick or gonna have to bank at this,
school.
or maybe Karen.
Got robbed of its computers. Back when, well, let's just say, and the people who stole them, they thought that they were gonna be able to like sell them, you know. And lo and behold, they like only had number munchers and Oregon Trail capabilities, you know.
Number munchers, dude. I forgot about that one.
The Oregon Trail, though, is actually like kind of a fascinating thing once you get out. It's almost like become its own icon through that digitized version of itself. But it's like a real thing that happened in history. And you can go to a place called Guernsey, Wyoming, and you can see what's called the Guernsey ruts. And it's just ruts where the wagon wheels went up and over the limestone hills. And they like literally created, and you know, and then in the game to get through the Guernsey ruts, you gotta like have a couple extra axles, a couple extra tons to get through that stuff because
Yeah.
it snapped and broke. It's all like pretty accurate, but still like if you're just playing that game, you lose a lot of the like rubber to the road of like how crazy that experience was. It's like a different group of people by the time you got to your destination.
Yeah.
You know, Nathan flew from Bay Area to get here. That's roughly a third of the mileage of the Oregon Trail, you know. A little layover or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like a big difference.
Yeah. Months of travel. I got mixed feelings about that because like while I'm a big fan of what those early applications did for like the future of technology, which is like a staple in my industry and my work and my art, that game also inherently is like profiteering off of like whitewashing history.
For sure.
Which like I have very mixed feelings about
For sure.
from that standpoint.
This one.
The Oregon Trail. The Oregon Trail, yeah. You know, as far as the genocidal history that happens behind the pursuing of the new frontier
Manifesting
in the West. Yeah, for sure.
I'm a big fan of Manifestation, but not as big a fan of Manifest Destiny.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody who's more interested in that can Wikipedia Trail of Tears.
Oh, I missed.
Thomas Jefferson.
Still.
Missed the 3 ball, but still make contact and kick the 4 into
But
the
did anything
rail.
hit a rail
making
after?
it
Yeah.
rail, 4 hit the rail, making it a legal shot. Even Dom close up on this 3.
Oh, got me good.
Good time to point out to our worldwide and nationwide stage that we're in a cannabis-friendly culture here.
Yeah.
Almost safes that 3 behind the 4, but
I think
drops it out of the way.
Consumed.
Give Dom a full look at it.
Did anyone find the shark?
Yep.
Jazz, man.
Yeah, quick shout out to Jazzman who found the shark tonight and is going to get a sticker by Sharky Waters.
Great name, Jasmine.
Damn, didn't even
I love it,
touch
yeah. And he's a loyal fan too. He tunes in all the time.
Pump with that shit.
TSPN playing.
TSPN player as well.
All right.
Well, we finally got a little action here.
Left hand.
Tom's able to get the 6 to drop on the combo.
Yeah.
Karam's
Nice
that
little.
cue ball off of the 3, exactly. Yeah, pull it back to make that 5. And have a good leave on the 3 to perfectly bank. Oh. Just narrowly misses that one.
See, this is a point when it's so close, and any little motion could cause that ball to drop in the corner, that you really want to stand at the table and try to get your opponent to walk over there and maybe shift a little weight, and maybe that 3 ball falls down. I've had multiple instances
Maybe.
where that rule of until the shooter leaves the table, it's still considered their turn, that I've been able to like get a ball to drop that way.
I like it. I'm going to have to give that a shot.
We did that to Devin once.
Like in golf, you have if you have 5 seconds after you walk up to the hole. If the ball is like teetering on the edge, you have 5 seconds to just sit there and wait for it to fall. But after that 5 seconds, you gotta bend down and pick it up.
Wonder how many times it's fallen after like 6 seconds and it didn't count.
Yeah, furthermore,
Probably
how
a
many
lot.
times was the championship hinge on that one?
Championship game on that moment.
It's like when, what's his name? McNair came 1 yard away from winning the Super Bowl when the Titans, Tennessee Titans went to the Super Bowl. Can you imagine coming 1 yard away from your dreams like that?
Dang.
Yard can still feel like a mile sometimes.
Yeah, doesn't matter. What did Vin Diesel say in the original Fast and the Furious? Doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile.
Winning is
Winning is winning.
Oh, that's what I didn't want to do.
Unfortunately,
Like I was over
Dom
there
scratched
thinking about
there.
Vin Diesel. That guy's name is Dom in all the Fast and the Furious movies.
Uh-huh.
And he never used 2 hands on the steering wheel.
In the
Would
whole
you?
movie?
Only 1.
Is that a film fact?
No, I don't know.
I mean, if it's
just
not
every
on
time you see a
IMDb,
picture- Yeah.
then I'm not.
Just tell me a scene where he uses 2 hands. I haven't seen it. So it's got
Yeah,
the-
you're right. He usually like
One
has like
arm
a
at the
probably a
12
gun
o'clock.
out the window or something too, right?
Yeah, for
Stop
sure.
it.
For sure.
Or like pulling in someone
A
back
girlfriend,
into the
yeah,
car at
pulling
like
in,
95
yeah,
miles an
saving
hour on the
someone.
freeway.
Yeah, man, this guy doesn't
Just
know
lifting
anything about
weights and
10
or
2.
flexing with the other one.
Crushing apples one-handed. It's like, oh, I need fruit.
Squeezing every last drop out of a rag. Paper
or a
towel.
career for that matter.
Too about that.
Nice little side pocket action there by old Cause. Drops the 4.
Oh,
Got a look on that lucky number 7. Can't miss. Right there in the corner. It's the lucky one. 100% accuracy.
not even close.
For that
Wait.
shot.
Jaywalked.
100%
That just
indeed it
fell
is. That 7
in
ball
the
always
pocket.
goes in. Lucky.
It's not an
Science.
opinion.
Or
It's a
amazing
science.
shot still. But let's
Shark
go.
fact.
Never give
Shacked.
up.
Never surrender.
Can you dig it?
Never say die.
I'm not on board with that
Good,
yet
Goonies never say die.
because it sounds like you're
Sounds like you're
Shacked.
saying shark, but just with an Australian accent. Shacked.
shacked. You get shacked. Okay, I'm on board with that.
Bloody hell, he got shacked there.
Definitely a good shacking. I'm almost drifting into Boston accent again.
You-
I'm
yeah, you-
I'm all. I just.
It's
ride
like
the wave.
it's like a stream of accents.
Yeah, exactly. It just
They're all one accent.
forever adapting.
Thanks. A couple more too.
Forever.
Forever adapting, mom.
And then everything is like a vowel in if you're doing like South African. Forever adapting.
It's so funny because
That's pretty good.
It's really not that accurate, but that's like the only. You just learn little tricks like how to say certain vowels or whatever.
Just like waves.
I just remember catching that from,
No, you
from watching that like District 9 movie. Well, this is all that's left here for Cosmo to tie it up. 9 ball.
It's a great kick shot. Did you guys see that?
Nobody was watching, dude.
That's what I'm
Nobody was
That's what
watching,
I'm
bro.
saying. Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. All the good stuff. I broke and ran out while they were over there doing Sean Connery's. That's what it's all about on Sharky Waters.
Welcome to the Rock. You ever seen that one, dude?
Oh, dude, that's my absolute favorite Nicolas Cage movie of all time.
Oh, working on Nicolas Cage. No, Mandy, though, bro. That's some shit. You seen that one? Mandy?
No.
That's the one where like the like cult comes in and kills his girlfriend, and he just goes on this wild LSD rampage thing. It's like a horror movie or whatever. It just came out. Oh, dude.
What's it called again? Mandy.
Mandy. Especially if you haven't seen that. Sick
That
as-
movie is wild.
Yeah, like it's like big. It's like one of the best movies of that year. Yeah, it's sick. He came out of nowhere, just like.
Came out of nowhere, Nicolas Cage. Who is this guy?
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Oh my god, this is so far. Here we go. Ready for this? Some of that theatrical shit.
Look out, Deborah.
I wish.
All the way back,
It'd be so sick. Oh, I should have hit harder.
short of the corner. Unfortunately, the 9's not the lucky one. That's not 100% like the 7
Yeah, the
is.
7-1 just goes in, just no matter what.
But
Nice.
from that range, it may as well be 100% for
The
Dom.
score
He's
is
gonna.
42. That is the answer.
42, that is the answer.
What is the question?
Had to get there.
A little foggy in here, eh? 4-2. Dom's in the lead. Cosmo's not far behind, though he is going to be crippled in that on that one arm, which is going to set him back slightly. Hopefully, he has some items in his inventory to remedy the situation.
Oh, I'm just here for the ride, man. Could you please pass me that joke?
A little action on the 1 ball. And little action on the 2 ball.
He's got to start with this 3, and he's hooked by the 4. It looks like.
Tricky.
pulls out a little masse like from Open Swim, just not quite enough spin.
Cosmo.
Just misses it here, giving Cosmo ball in hand.
Sick. So far. Dang it. Over here.
Where'd you get that shirt from?
The internet.
Shirt's amazing.
It's from that video game Fallout. I usually wear it on Sundays after a festival.
Totally.
I'm just like, I'm so weak.
This one is me.
Status currently.
Yeah, it's nice to have you rest all day. Just have you resting around, chilling, sleeping,
Hard.
lounging.
A lot more of that.
Rest time is crucial. Spa day with your mom coming up. That's just good. Run a good run here.
It's a good run on the 3 and the 4, nice and easy. Just clips the 5, no problem, into the side. Keep coming around, and he has a look on the 6 here. Couple options, we'll see what he chooses.
Eric, I think we need to develop some catchphrases. Hoping you are down to spitball a couple ideas with me real quick.
Spitball time.
Oh boy.
Hear that? Brain trust cooking over there.
So
Hear that?
here's what I'm thinking. We got a
Word
couple
for that.
scenarios. We need some like
Eye buzz in your ear.
made the shot.
That's right.
We need a cool catchphrase for when someone makes a shot. Catchphrase for when someone almost makes a shot but misses spectacularly.
That motherfucker was.
And for like a 9-ball combo or carom, cool like 9-ball, and then for a scratch. So I'm looking for 4 catchphrase ideas. Throw some stuff back and forth. Obviously, aquatic theme. We are Sharky Waters after all.
Let's sit in this comfy ass chair. Ugh. Sitting. Sick. Why?
Deborah's saying fins up could be an option for when you hit the fin. Well, when you make a shot,
Kind of like defeated. He threw his fins up. That's what it feels like, that sort of scenario. Break and run could be a tidal wave.
totally tidal wave.
Tidal
I'm thinking
wave.
like a pun on an existing one. You know what I'm saying? Like if like a spectacular shot spin on like where there's a will, there's a way. I'm thinking like where there's a gill, there's a masse.
God.
You gotta start the spitball somewhere, man.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
Anybody in the chat rooms, what do you guys got?
Well, I think with some of this is you should
I think
say
I'm
that
actually
you
just
would
blown
really
away by its magnificence.
Totally,
Tor,
Deborah.
I think you really just hit the nail on the head on the
Bigger
first
boat.
try, and that's what I'm so taken back.
Where there's a gill, there's a masse.
Yeah.
Nailed it, dude.
I've been on like a real hot streak of like shark puns.
Shark bait.
as
We were,
we've been-
like, stunned, like,
yeah,
our
shark-
soul.
Came from
Shark bites.
Shark bites.
Shark bites. Yeah, excuse me.
Take a chance to plug that. We were saying in the intro that was gonna be something we dive a little more into.
Yeah, new development, but
Oh, you're fucking
Brutal.
kidding.
you know, we like loosely invite people to the show, and it's kind of been on like an invite only basis for people that can come sit in the audience and some close friends, and obviously our close Sharky Waters family, and then occasionally like friends of the guest and all that kind of stuff. But we really want to expand that as this show is expanding and eventually expanding into like a larger space at some point down the road, or going on the road for that matter, like with our upcoming retreat that's happening this summer. And we're all big fans of food and good drink and culinary and all that stuff. And our number one fan and new Shark family member, Deborah Gross, is an amazing cook and an amazing baker. And so, yeah, like I was saying, early days for the development of this, but we're going to try to figure out the best way that we can be introducing like good food and drink into the Sharky Waters experience and inviting more fans to come be a part of that.
Dessert and a cocktail.
Dessert and cocktail, says Dom.
Well, when somebody misses a shot and leaves the other guy a really easy shot, we call it chum in the waters. Lucky chum the waters for him has got no problem.
You making drinking games out of misses over there, Eric? Was that the idea? No? Ooh, good shot.
Gorgeous bank shot by Cosmo here, knocking that 8 in the side. Good leave on the 9.
For like tons of hours of us playing, I'd normally give that to you, but you know it's a house rule. You gotta shoot
Every shot
Dude,
here on
I
Sharky
mean,
Waters.
almost scratched too, so.
Dude, there's a
He
chance.
shot that one,
so
no
you gotta
problem.
Take it, dude.
Bringing the match 4-3.
I thought when you guys were spitballing ideas that you were. What is it? Shark bait?
Totally.
Got it for you now because you're winning. Are we tied up?
Duck. Well, so Eric's been calling that duck,
Should be beating your ass right
right?
What's that?
I should be beating your ass right now. I can't decide. We're trying to go to the concert.
That's a
we're trying to kick
comment.
it. I can't decide. I'm I want to roll
Cool
with this
term.
game
So we
right
need to
now,
come up.
I don't know. It's just like all
At this point,
duck
it
is
doesn't
like
matter.
I
Why
can
not?
consider
No,
duck
I'm
like
saying
a
we're
pseudo like aquatic themed.
dude. Oh, it's 9.
It's 9?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I mean,
So I was saying, I was
absolutely
like, let
aquatic
back
theme,
loose,
so it kind of
fucking
lines
fuck,
up
you know
in
what
a
I'm saying? I don't give a fuck.
maybe.
Just keep playing. There's an opener and shit, obviously, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what it
Yeah.
is.
Well, we'll try to make it.
A lot of power on that break,
One of us just
like
catch
he
it
always
here.
does. He puts a lot of hit into it. Nothing drops, but left arm 1 here.
Yeah, right. Vin Diesel, where you at, bro?
Here we go. Vin Diesel.
Oh, I think if it didn't come back into contact with the cue ball that little bit, it would have been in the side pocket.
I was trying to make the 9 move.
Oh, you fucking kidding me? Oh,
Figure if Vin Diesel was going to win it, that's how he'd do
I was
it.
thinking too much about him again. He's getting to get out of my mind. That fucking
Yeah, why did
Dodge
he
Viper,
have
dude.
that? Here we go.
Anyone know what his real name is? Vin Diesel?
No, heck no. No idea.
Benny.
Well, Vin is like a ID number for a car.
Oh my god.
So it's like the whole name is like a pun.
Jesus. Oh my god, the chair feels so good.
Tries to squeak that one by the 6.
that, you know, you
Gets
gotta
caught
push
up,
it,
but
get one hand.
leaves him pretty safe.
Oh, really?
That thing is
Yeah.
that one is tucked up away.
I don't want to do business right now. Heck no.
Brutal.
Get out of the way. Everything. Shots.
Try for it again. I want him more. Vin Diesel has left the building.
Oh, your mother had him. His real name is Mark Sinclair.
Oh, jeez.
Mom,
Turns
Mark
out Teddy Ramos is
Sinclair.
secret Vin Diesel fan number 1.
Yeah. Jamie, can you pull that up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mark Sinclair.
Come on.
No one's gonna take doesn't matter how buff you are, no one's gonna take Mark Sinclair seriously as an action star.
Mark Sinclair. Oh, look at me jaywalking here. Your shot.
4 falls in at the end anyways, and
Like reverse
gives
that here.
him
I'll try that out.
good look on the 1.
I don't know. That was weird, but this is weird. Get me. My bank's been pretty good today. I don't know.
Yeah, let's give it a couple kicks, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, get rid of that fucking yellow ball. Jesus Christ.
I'm saying it's the hardest one sometimes. Shark myself thinking I should probably just like take the airtime to think.
Just rattled the two out there.
Full table
I
water.
don't,
Cosmo might have to
I don't
pull in
like
some of this
compliments.
masse that he was
Don't do
practicing
that.
before the.
All right, I won't do that.
Yeah, looks like he's lifting up his
Say what?
cue here.
Good luck with that.
That's
shot.
my favorite.
There we go.
Gets good masse on that. It's actually a really good shot. That's tough to get around that 3 all the way. And just barely misses the 2. Dom taking ball in hand.
If I even do this. Trying to catch a gear here right now, man.
You know what they say? Big part of the game is knowing how to pick yourself back up and play through those slumps.
Oh,
Got a pretty stellar opportunity here.
what is it? That 9 in?
One way to do it.
I don't know. That's tough.
Some
I was
3
gonna go-
cheese macaroni.
I don't know, guys.
Macaroni and cheese with a little tapatio is what it looks like to me.
Yeah, right. There's something red on this sriracha.
There's something magical about the numbers 3 and 9.
What is
And
it?
6 particularly. I don't know. You'll have to look up Tesla's like archives of.
Is it Tesla's yet?
Yeah.
Almost makes that 9 into the corner.
Quote about him
Cue ball
saying
wants
that
really wants it to go in
3,
that
6,
corner.
and 9.
And that safety shot pretty much went exactly like he planned. Hit that 3 right behind the 6. Dom can see a sliver of it, but it's going to be awkward for him to get that to go in the corner.
Oh, he's got it.
And sure enough, just like Cosmo planned, there was not a good look there, but speaking of weird looks, don't look now. Dom left him awfully close to that 5 ball.
Chest sometimes.
Cosmo says, I've solved the equation. 3 ball in the side pocket.
Oh my gosh. So silly.
Another stellar safety by Cosmo. 5 ball just around the corner of the 8. Dom's going to have to kick at it.
There's no problem though. And great kick. 2 rails. Wants to come around into that 9.
Hey, Eric.
Just like he was thinking, combo, win the game right there. Just end it.
Wish I could have won the game in one shot right there.
Just barely knocks out there. Leaving Dom pretty straightforward here, 5 in the corner.
Five falls in the corner. No problem.
That was the exact leave he was looking for to make this.
Just a little kiss of the fin
7.
there and jumps right back out of the pocket,
The fin
unfortunately.
of death.
The fin of disappointment.
Fin of disappointment.
I don't know.
Nice action.
Nice cut there on the 6. Drifts a little bit further than he was hoping, giving him a bank shot here. Says no problem. I love those bank shots. Gonna throw it in the side.
He did say that. He said it really quietly, but I heard him say it.
Yeah.
And right there, you could almost hear it on the mics, but just under his breath, he says, "No problem. That 8-ball's going in the corner pocket. And the 9.
This is my game. I shall win."
Strong, chunky
Again,
thigh.
just almost loud enough to be heard on mic, but it was just too quiet there. But he did say it.
That win by Dom brings the match 5-3.
Tor, do you have a little gauge on my breakometer? Let's get like volume measurement here.
Free app. Or we're going to have to pull up the graphic.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Daniel Wingate would have won, but
Big
I'm
time.
like, Hercules.
You know, we ought to do some like Sharky Waters, like baseball cards with stats on them and stuff. I think that'd be funny.
That'd be sick.
Be like a top, nice 2 in the corner, 1 in the, that it was
9 almost went in the side as well.
hell of a break.
And the 2.
Speaking of stats,
Spectacular break.
that might be the record of most balls made.
And he, yeah,
Speaking of monster
records,
breaks, we were just complimenting.
What's he got?
Dominator said, no problem. I want that record right here, right now. Oh, just barely misses that. That was a great kick at that 2 into the side. Tough shot there.
They know how to shoot it.
Makes for great contact.
Shit has done.
Just barely. That was a great attempt at it. Just needed to barely touch that 2 to get it to go in the side. Almost had it. Dom takes ball in hand here, puts the 2 in the side, leaving him perfectly on the 5. Puts that 7 in with a lot of power. Bring it around.
Sporty.
Great cross bank there.
Give it to me. I can just
Nice out by Dom.
Talk about shark frenzy there.
Seemed to really
Nice run. Deborah's idea.
caught his really caught a strong current there at the end and
kill me now.
just rode it all the way to the beach.
Tor, I love you.
So funny.
It's so good.
I don't even remember what that was, but there are some weird shots in there, huh?
Yeah, that was quite a run. There was a lot of creative shots in that for sure, and quick.
Well, that puts Dom on the hill there, or on the crest of the wave, I guess you could say, and you can really see that the tide is turning on this game. We had some pretty rough waters there at the start, but I think we're going to have some smooth sailing
Choppy.
all the way to our destination here.
Tag.
Yeah. I pass the baton to you.
Pulls it back off of that too.
Cool, we're gonna make it. He's gonna beat me right now, and then we're gonna turn everything off, and then we're gonna go to the show. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Goes for a quick win there on combo 4 to the
I was
9.
like a millimeter away from making that shot.
And leaves him very, very safe. Yeah, Dom almost made that. That was
Very
super
sick.
close.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna just come in and just be like,
Yeah, you can just forfeit this shot. Give me a bone here. No combo. We're out of here. Man, shout out. Shout out. CHS bones.
heck no. You know me. I always gotta.
This could be a great shot. Here we go.
Dang it.
Great contact on the 4.
Thank you.
Take that.
And yeah, leaves him safe too.
Did it work? That was using that. It's cool. Yeah, the egg. You get it.
You get me.
We're not gonna
Dude, keep the mics open, bro. That's how the show is gonna, you know? Keep all the spice on top.
The spice.
There you go, Dom.
Yeah, here we go.
Right there. Just
An unfortunate scratch is going to give Dom an easy combo here.
It's not the.
4 cheese lasagna.
He wants to get out of here and go to this mystery
Jazz
concert, and he ends it.
You gotta do
There's
big
the
pop. We're outta
match.
here.
oh, jeez.
Well,
I'm done by 2:30 real quick.
there you have it.
Could you imagine? Could you
7-3. Cosmo put up a pretty good fight there. I would say this is more of a friendly exhibition, but a good one nonetheless. So we're going to move on to the break pod. This is the final part of the show. Eric is going to rack them up. Cosmo put his $10 inside the treasure chest that is inside the other treasure chest, and that will be his token to participate. So Eric's going to rack them up real nice and loose, all effed up. Cosmo has one shot to run this rack out. Combo or a carom on the 9-ball counts, luck counts.
Check out the treasure chest bracket. Treasure chest instead of a treasure chest.
Right here. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a treasure chest in a treasure chest. And then inside that is the break pot money. Actually, inside that is like a treasure map to the break pot money, really, if you think about it. All right, good luck, Cosmo. Hope you get the 9 on the break and take all the money.
That's what I said specifically.
Dry break, unfortunately. Well, there you have it. Dom, you want to say your farewells and we'll go to this after party situation here?
Yeah, absolutely. Nato, get in here.
Okay.
Bring it in, my friend. This guy introduced Tor and I. Tor and I have become great friends. It's all through like a foundation of fucking honesty and
Invisible threads or something?
Yeah, invisible threads. It's all about invisible threads. But I was gonna say more along the lines of like transparent communication and open and honest, alignment, eye contact, and open heart. All that shit.
That's pretty dope, dude. Everybody do that,
it's great
please.
it's great. Yeah, absolutely.
The world is burning. Please, I beg you. Seriously.
Do your part. Do your practice mindfully. Do your part mindfully.
Recycle or
and,
something? I don't know.
Yeah, reduce, reuse, all that. Be friendly.
That's my
Give
favorite.
free hugs. Shrug more. It's my favorite emoji.
I'm gonna throw that one a lot more, actually.
Yeah, totally. We're gonna go to Jazz Bones instead of Tipsy Tomato, our normal sponsor. Shout out to those guys, even though we're not gonna be there. But if you want to hang out with the gang, we'll be enjoying a mind-blowing show. We are assured. And then Harold Custom Cues, thanks for the carbon fiber shaft that I wound up pulling the W in on, a couple curveball shots, and the curveball of the night. You know what I mean? It was great having you. Everybody, perfect practice makes a perfect performance.
There's that phrase.
And enjoy peace.
My heart is so filled now.